participating Nissan dealers. See dealer for details.
You're ready to get back into yoga, so you order the essentials. A non-slip mat, yoga blocks to keep balance, and an exercise ball. And you use your Bank of America Cash Rewards credit card, choosing to earn 3% cash back on online shopping and up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member, which you put towards your most essential yoga gear. Noise-canceling headphones.
Welcome. Take a deep breath. Breathe.
Apply for yours at bankofamerica.com/more rewarding. Copyright 2020 Bank of America Corporation.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Papura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbphealth.com.
97.1 The Ticket would like to remind you that when you text the ticket, standard text messaging rates apply. Live from the Jay Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Jansen.
97.1 The Ticket. Kenny Galladay, no longer a Detroit Lion. Well, unless they decide to sign him as a free agent, which we know that ain't happening.
No.
Not completely surprised. If you would have asked me this question about 3 or 4 months ago, before the complete regime change, I would have been surprised. But when you look at where the Lions are, and you look at where they're going, it really makes sense. And I know somebody will say, well, Stoney, here's a really good, everybody talks to him as a top 10 receiver. He's still, what, he'll be 28 years old when the season starts, something like that. Is that correct, John?
He'll be 28 in November.
28 in November. He is very good. Why would you give up on a relatively young player? And my answer to that is, well, first of all, he didn't want to be here, or at least he didn't want to be here if we believe the stories that he turned down $18 to $19 million a year.
Right.
And I ain't paying him that. So for 1 year for a franchise for $16 million, if the Lions were a team that I thought had a chance to make the playoffs, yes, I'd franchise them. But they're not going to make the playoffs. They can use the money better to get younger players at different positions where they might be able to, A, keep them for longer, or B, just have guys around and then get rid of them and have more cap money again the following year. This is, he didn't want to call it a rebuild. He wanted to call it a retool, whatever. But they're breaking it down. I mean, if Stafford wasn't the main clue, this completely cements it, right? I mean, because he's a relatively young, really good player.
Yes, this definitely cements the fact that they're in a complete rebuild, and it will be another cementing factor when they make their decision on Romeo Okwara, because they're not going to pay him what Romeo probably wants coming off of a 10-sack season. So they are in an absolute all-in, got to get it done in the next 3 or 4 years, absolute rebuild.
I mean, right, we have to, as fans, now, the cynic will say, well, we've been doing this basically since 1957, but we have to embrace the suck. Because that's the only way, I think.
Well, it doesn't take that long in the NFL, though. So let's pumping the brakes on the whole, the NBA model or whatever.
I'm talking about 3 years.
Right.
I think 3 years for them to be fair.
Sustainably good team.
Years is fair. And if he uses the money that they'll have smartly the next 2 years and drafts wisely, they can do it. They can be a playoff team. You assume Aaron Rodgers isn't going to play forever, but you never know. I mean, you have to worry about your own division first. Look, what I've liked them to do, just like we always wanted to trade down, I would have loved for them to somehow franchise them and trade them. But that does not happen very often in the National Football League. It's not like the NBA where you have a lot of signing trades. So yeah, they're taking a risk, and you know what? I'm okay with it.
Yes,
I really am.
Go ahead, Tom.
I don't want to put this on Brad Holmes because I think it's unfair because he was dealt the hand. He walked in and he was a franchise. He was a free agent, Kenny Galladay. I'm tired of this team losing some assets and getting nothing in return.
Right. That's why I wanted to trade them.
They won't get nothing in return.
I mean,
they're going to get a compensatory pick, and it depends on how he does. There's a lot of factors involved, but it could be as high as a third-round pick next year. And I think it's going to be somewhere 3 or 4. What are you going to get for him now in a trade? Who wants to sign him if you sign him to a long-term contract, or if you sign him to a to this franchise tag and then try and trade him. There's a reason it's a rarity
He
that
shouldn't-
franchise tag players
That's why
get traded.
I'm letting Brad Holmes off the hook, though, on this, because it's not his fault. This is
No.
the hand he was dealt. My problem is that it got to this point.
But the
You know,
question,
just like in Ndamukong Suh.
right? But
You know?
if the player, if we do we believe the Schefter report that he was offered something like 18, 19 million a year and turned it down?
He's a reliable enough source.
Okay, so if you believe that, that's on Kenny Galladay, if you ask me, right?
Or Matt Patricia. Maybe he said, hey, you know what, 18, 19 million, it's not enough for me to put up with
Okay, that's
Matt
right.
Patricia.
Right, and that means that Holmes is definitely off the hook for this.
Right, and so but I also have to caution Lions fans because of when you look around at the franchise tag, Allen Robinson got the franchise tag, Chris Godwin got the franchise tag. Kenny Galladay is going to be the number one receiver on the free agent market. He's going to sign a really big contract. That doesn't mean he's a great receiver. It's supply and demand. If he's the best available, he's going to, especially if he turned down 18 or 19 last year and he turned down a franchise tag. We don't even know if it was offered to him. But if he turned down any type of long-term deal here, he is going to get paid big money, but he is not a great receiver. He is good. I don't want to throw too much shade on him. He is really good, but he's not great.
Yeah, and he has a problem, at least last year, of staying healthy. And I think his rookie year, he wasn't completely healthy. So
Yeah.
2 out of his 4 years, he was healthy. The other question is, and our telephone number, 248-539-9797, ticket text as well. We invite everybody's input. How does this affect what's coming up in a month or so? Do you, with such a high quality crop of wide receivers, does this mean you take this guy? We need a wide receiver now. Got to take a wide receiver at 7. To me, unless, and the more I read, the more highlights I watch. If Jamar Chase is there, which I'm not convinced he will be, that's the only wide receiver that I would definitely take at 7.
I think this signals the fact that the Lions need so much. All right, now we know that they needed to revamp the entire defense, and now without having Kenny Galladay there, and you're not going to have anybody else. If Quintus Cephas is your most experienced returning wide receiver in his second year, who, by the way, and I heard this on Carson Anderson yesterday, ran the slowest 40 time at the NFL Combine last year. If he is your number one returning receiver, you have to address that position as well.
Right. What do you do in free agency with somebody like, I don't know, Curtis Samuel, who probably won't take that much money, or you do, maybe trade down, or you do.
That's what you got to do. You have to create more picks. The Detroit Lions are going to build through the draft. It is absolutely clear they are letting all of their veterans go. They are wiping the slate clean. They are starting anew. They want to get as many draft picks as possible. So I think this signals that they are going to trade down with that number 7 pick. And we're going to hear from Brad Holmes. We're going to hear from a lot of other people from yesterday's move all the way until the 17th, which is when free agency started, to the draft, about how they are interested in a quarterback. They're going to do that so they can drive up the price, the asking price for that number 7 pick. They're going to try and get as many draft picks as they possibly can so they can pick up 2 or 3 receivers. They can pick up a couple defensive backs, a linebacker. They can get what they need, but they need so much right now.
They need tons. And that's the way it's going to be. And I think that's the way he wants to build a team. Basically, and I'm not completely, obviously, because you have, like Tom mentioned, TJ, you got Ragnow, you got Decker, you have a veteran quarterback, whether you think he's any good or not, that's irrelevant for this part of the discussion. In golf, you have DeAndre Swift. Maybe you look at Okudah as somebody who just was hurt and was playing in a bad system. But so you have like about 5 or 6 guys, and that's it. And I'm not even counting, and you have a good punter. Okay?
I think
congratulations.
Right, yes, yeah.
Let's go to Sean, your 97 on the ticket.
Hey guys, yeah, with them not having Kenny or getting rid of that defensive end, I think this year, with there being so many good receivers, I think wouldn't it be proper to trade down in that pick, because you could still get a receiver. If you want to draft one, you could still draft back to 12 into the 15 range and still get a guy like Waddle or anybody like that, really, over Sean Mason in the second round.
I agree. I would love them to trade down, but don't sleep on the fact that if they love, and fans. I have no idea if they do, Sean. If they love John's boy, Trey Lance, or for some reason if they love Mac Jones or somebody like that, or Fields, and they're there at 7, they might take that quarterback.
But there's like they let those two guys go. Even the guy Gregory Rousseau, the 6'7" defensive end.
Yeah.
You could actually replace both guys you let go, let walk. You could draft Gregory Rousseau and then turn around in the second round, grab a receiver. Now you got both of those positions refilled for a fraction of the cost. So, and
True,
I think
but
you could replace that production.
John knows this a little better than I. Thanks, Sean, for the call. There's a little baggage with Russo because he hasn't played that much, correct?
Correct. And it's very similar baggage to Micah Parsons, who sat out last year and had, some reported off-the-field issues in regards to hazing and some decisions that he made at Penn State. So everybody, not everybody, a lot of the guys are going to have some baggage. Is it going to be enough to put up with if they have the talent that you want to get at that pick? At number 7, you don't want to be drafting a guy that has baggage.
No.
Unless he is an absolute stud. That person is not in this draft. So you want to trade down. I think you trade down, you get a Micah Parsons. You pick up another, maybe a second-round pick, and then you take a couple of receivers in the second round, or a safety like we had talked about yesterday. There are a number of players that you could take in the second and third round in this draft that are going to be high-quality players.
Unless it's a quarterback, you make sure that whoever you take, you pick 7, or if you trade down and get other picks, your first and second round pick or picks better damn well start and contribute next year. I think that's paramount. My telephone number 248-539-9797. Coming up next, we'll hear from Brad Holmes on the quarterback market in this draft. It's 97-1 the time.
Hey, I want to tell you about Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service, because you look outside right now, the weather is unbelievable. Your grass is going to start growing. It's going to be lush and beautiful and green. And if you want it to be the best lawn on your street, the company that can make that possible is Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. You want to beat the crabgrass, grubs, insects this year? Don't wait, because it's easier to prevent those problems than it is to fix it. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service is going to assign your lawn its own specialist and create a custom-tailored solution specifically for your yard and home. They're going to tackle all the issues using fewer chemicals and environmentally sound practices. Natural Way has been locally owned and operated for over 3 decades right here locally. And you can reach them at 888-GET-GREEN and on the web at naturalwaylawn.com. Act now, because for a limited time only, purchase a full lawn program and get free grub control and free surface insect control. But you got to mention my name, John Jansen, and the ticket. The number again, 888-GET-GREEN or at naturalwaylawn.com. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center. Been pretty quiet on the drive so far this morning. There is one minor accident working to clear, affecting the right side of 94 eastbound just after Middle Belt. Then coming up today, there's planned midday road work in Monroe County. That's scheduled I-75 both directions at Mortar Creek Road, which is between South Otter Creek and La Pleasance Road. Look for periodic double lane closures. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Pistons play the Charlotte Hornets. Pre-game tomorrow night at 6:35 on News Radio 950 WWJ. This Radio.com Sports Minute is brought to you by Taylor Chevrolet.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Minute. Tomorrow marks the first anniversary since COVID-19 forced the NBA to shut down, which led to cascading shutdowns all across sports. As the vaccines make their way into more and more arms, there is finally hope that by the summer or fall, sports will return to some semblance of normalcy. However, like most everything else, sports will never be the same. TV networks have learned that they can save money by having announcers call the action from remote studios or home dens. Baseball saw that it could shorten games with 7-inning doubleheaders and runners on second to start extra innings. Those changes are not going away, folks. Unfortunately, neither is the mutual animosity between MLB and its Players Association. With contentious collective bargaining agreement negotiations looming, athletes have gained once unthinkable leverage over owners and commissioners, and the NCAA is poised to implode. Post-pandemic sports will be a whole new ballgame. Mark my words. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Of Course, we have everything you need to take on that oil change. It's easier than you think. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Mobil 1 synthetic high-mileage motor oil and an STP extended life oil filter for just $32.99. And you can get it all fast, your way. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery. Getting your job done just got easier. Restrictions apply.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, I'm Brian. As an aspiring baker, I've got a lot of secret ingredients. But my best one yet? Metro by T-Mobile. Metro gave me and the family high-speed data for only $25 a line for 4 lines and covered the switching fees. Plus, they threw in 4 free Galaxy phones just for switching. Now we can post pictures of my latest bakes and get out the word so the whole town knows I'm whipping up something sweet. How's that for stretching some serious dough?
You work hard for your money. With Metro by T-Mobile, it goes further. This tax season, there's 0 fees to switch. Right now, enjoy Metro's lowest price. Just $25 a line for 4 lines with taxes and fees included. Plus 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones when you switch. Now that's the best deal in wireless.
I'm Brian, and that's how I roll my day with Metro by T-Mobile.
All lines lose promo rate if any deactivates. Sales tax and regulatory fees included in price. 0 fee on select phones. Limit 1 free phone per line with port. Exclude sales tax. Limited time offer. Additional terms apply. See metrobytmobile.com.
What is TV's biggest night of guessing games? There's only one answer. Fox Wednesday. Yeah! First, The Masked Singer returns with a new season that will totally change the game.
How many people are in this costume? 2?
Then, can you guess someone's talent before you see them perform?
Scorpion Wrangler.
Fire thrower. Lock it in. It's the spectacular premiere Game of Talents, hosted by Wayne Brady. Show us your talent. Right after The Masked Singer season premiere. Fox tonight.
Unsolved Mysteries, the iconic television series, is now a podcast. All new mysteries of terrifying abductions, bizarre paranormal encounters, heinous killers, and unexplained deaths. Unsolved Mysteries is available now for free on radio.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com.
The Detroit Red Wings host the Tampa Bay Lightning. Pregame tomorrow at 7:15 on 97.1 The Ticket. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio. Here's Stoney and Jansen.
All right, 248-539-9797. That is the telephone number. We're talking about the Lions. They do not franchise Kenny Golladay. We'll hear from Brad Holmes momentarily on the quarterback situation in this draft, but we have some ticket tests. Gov, who cares? They get a third for Kenny G. They don't have to pay him. It's the right move. It's a gamble. Believe me, I'm not saying it's completely a home run.
I think I'm just letting some frustration boil over here a little bit. In general,